There. And now let me bring in Ibrahim Hooper, Communications Director for the Council on American-Islamic Relations based in Washington. Thank you so much for your time, Ibrahim.
Thanks for having me.
As we well know, and Ron just reported, French authorities still searching for possible accomplices. They are trying to trace the funding trail. All of this, though, in a sense, taking a backseat to the headline that the very newspaper these extremists wanted to silence, now 5 million copies have been picked up, and people are clamoring for more. There's still, though, the conversation of who has chosen to show the copy or the cover and who has not, including this network, for fear of offense. What's your take here?
Well, first of all, the American Muslims, like all Muslims worldwide, condemn the horrific attacks in Paris. I don't think that's the issue here. But the issue of publishing, not publishing, we believe that the magazine has the absolute right to publish even derogatory material attacking religious figures, whether it's the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or other prophets. But we also reserve the right to be offended by these derogatory representations and react to them in a peaceful manner, to challenge with more speech, to counteract sometimes hate speech. So we believe in freedom of speech, we believe in freedom of expression, but we also have the right to respect our own religious figures and object peacefully when they are denigrated.
And that is the message, not just from your organization, CAIR, but a number of other moderate, if you have to put that description in front of the word Muslim, but moderate Muslims and followers believe you have a right to not pick up that copy. You have a right to be offended, but they have the right to the publication and the portrayal here. With that said, is that the message that you hope is the overwhelming perception, obviously, of people who follow Islam today, not of these extremists with this new startling and heart-stopping video, but one that you can be tolerant and still be offended?
I mean, just as Muslims worldwide reject terrorism, reject religious extremism, they also reject gratuitous insults to their faith and to any faith. Muslims objected, and we as an organization objected when the so-called artist put a crucifix in a jar of urine. We objected when another artist made an image of Mary, mother of Jesus, peace be upon him, using elephant dung. Many Americans object when a flag is burned, but they wouldn't have a law that prevents flag burning, even though they reserve the right to object to it. And that's the same thing as Muslims. You have the right to be even an anti-Muslim bigot if you want, but we reserve the right to object to bigotry and to speak out peacefully against it.
And let me ask you, though, about your deep fears here, possibly. 5 million copies, their high alert of security still in place. You and I both know that the idea that this many copies being distributed in some ways will be seen as poking at these extremists who may be plotting and planning something now.
Well, I don't think extremists need an excuse to carry out their violent actions.
But we know people use excuses.
Yeah, I mean, they do these things even though the vast majority of Muslims worldwide have said, don't do this, this is wrong, this hurts Islam, this hurts the image of and interests of Muslims around the world, but they continue to do it anyway. So, you know, we have an obligation to speak out against extremism and terrorism, and we do what we can to counteract that kind of thinking.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for your time. We greatly appreciate your insights. We're also following developing